Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's enjoying this bright sunny day. Welcome to Wednesday's Women Webinars. I'm your host, Trina Bird, and I'm excited to not only bring you this Circle of Success series that I've been doing for the last 6 weeks, but today is going to be special because I'm going to be doing a review before we go into the next module. And basically, anyone who's been following this broadcast on a weekly basis, hopefully you have built at least a portion of your circle of success. And just basically saying to the listening audience that, we're working in a time where a lot of things are being challenged in our worlds that are not the normal challenges. We're dealing with, just kind of, going outside, and, you got to remember, usually as a woman, you'd have to remember, of course, your keys, your pocketbook, pretty much maybe your list that you're going to go out to do errands on and things like that. Now you got to carry alcohol, sanitizer, a mask, gloves, and whatever else personally that you are using to protect yourself. So it's just, at first I was like, oh, I didn't like the mask because it started, it's an irritating thing to do, but you got to do it. So you just basically do it. And at first it didn't bother me as much. But then as gradually, we're what? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We're 8 months into this thing. And it's starting to wear at you. Not in some people are a little depressed about it. Some people are a lot depressed about it, and some people it's just annoying, and it's just pretty much, you're tired of it, kind of. You're just pretty much tired of it. I never realized that. I love being home with the family, and all my years of working, I look forward to the day that you could be home and, not have to worry about punching the clock and spending time with family and doing the things that you really love to do. And then this thing happens and you can't do what you really love to do. You gotta, you're just like, oh, can I just, I don't know. It's just a little bit, whatever. So, in feeling that way, we have developed this Wednesday's Women Webinar series that I thought would be a great way to redirect your feelings and your challenges, and challenge you in a positive way, in which you learn more about yourself, learn what your potential is. If you don't already know what it is, you can expand. If you do already know what it is, you can expand upon it. And then if you don't know, you can find it. So that's what the purpose is of doing this webinar on Wednesdays, every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And Rick's telling me I should smile more. And I get serious when I'm talking about my subject. So I'm not trying. I'm just not I'm serious about it, and I want to get the message out there. So, but I'm going to still try and smile and keep that really kind of cute look on, so it'll be more welcoming. All right, so let's get started because we know we only have like 30 minutes. So my motto before we start any of our workshops or broadcasts is: do invest in yourself, do learn new skills, do be empathetic, and do help others. All of these ingredients make for a nice pie that make you feel good about yourself, and then most importantly, make other people feel good about themselves, because there's somebody out there that's going to help them, and you're helping yourself. Now, this is where we started. We started at know your worth. And we wanted to mostly get across the point that don't confuse your net worth with your self-worth, because so many people look at their assets, materialistic assets, as what their worth is. But I believe that your self-worth is more valuable than any net worth, because you could be poor and you could help somebody and change their life and their family's life for generations to come. And it doesn't take money. It didn't take money to do it. But in order for you to help other people, you have to have your own self-worth, and you also have to be confident in who you are. I'm taking a workshop now, and they're challenging us on thinking about, the negatives in our lives, and just, identifying all of your strong points as well as your weak points. And I have to say, I feel really good about who I have become in these 63 years, because I've always, and I can attribute this to my parents and my upbringing, that I was always confident in who I am and who I wanted to be. And it wasn't until, semi-retirement that I started to wonder, well, what is, I was always, I mean, I can't tell you, up until probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I always was felt great about the career I chose, how I was helping people with my school, and just how important, my purpose in life was, and I was fulfilling it. And then I semi-retired for a couple of reasons, and I wasn't as needed as much like I was when I was running, the T-Bird Computer School. And so I started to wonder, well, what is my purpose now? What am I going to be doing? But I decided that I was going to still work on my, I was still going to work within my self-worth guidelines, and then create myself a new path. And so I started to do my online classes. I do these types of broadcasts. I've written several books. I've written several curriculums, such as this, to assist and, just help people be better at what they do. And now I'm happy about that. I just want to also point out too, I'm doing a workshop October 14th. It is titled, I think it's Business Career Success for Business Owners, Entrepreneurs. And we're just going to talk about educational topics that will help you improve your business, help you expand your business, help you get your business started, all that. And it's totally free, and it includes all the course materials. And it's a Zoom meeting. It's going to be held, I believe, 6:30, October 14th. So if you want information on that, definitely let me know, and I will send you out the link. It's invitation only, and you will be able to just, I mean, it's not your everyday write a business plan workshop. It's going to be so valuable in terms of, just expanding your business from an operational perspective, opposed to the standard, how to write a business plan, or how to name your business, that kind of stuff. So we're going to be doing a little bit of those things, but most importantly, all the things that are usually missing from that type of workshop that you standardly get, that are free. So ours is going to be action packed with a lot of information. So doing this, if you're a woman and you want to start your own business, or you're in business, definitely complete this broadcast that I've been doing every week, because it helps you improve your business as well. In identifying your value, I had you guys establish your value by detailing important attributes in a cover letter, creating your resume, a digital career portfolio, how much salary you would accept, and the type of job that you have, the type of job that you want. What was the value that you have in doing these? But most of us do that exclusively, but we don't look at the other side of it and determine our value based on other attributes. And so we had you do this exercise in lieu of creating your SWOT, which was your strengths, your worth, your threats, and your assets. Now, typically people hear of a SWOT, SWOT, and in that SWOT, you do your strengths, your weaknesses, and your threats and your assets. So we kind of changed it around, and the W became worth, because and we took the O out, which was opportunity, and made that assets. So determine what your assets are personally, and what your assets, and what your value and your worth, all those things, understanding who and what they are for you personally, will create such a positive input in the decisions that you make going forward in your life, and the decisions that you make right now. We also included the worksheets and the Circle of Success workbook, where you were able to not only walk through this process, but get the tips on how to do it, examples of exactly what a typical SWAT would look like for an individual. So that was very, very informative. I think the response that I got from those who did it, basically told me that they had never even thought about it. They heard about it on the business side, but never thought about doing it for their personal life. And so, you definitely want to do this exercise. I mean, it's so easy to do, but it's also thought provoking. So it allows you to think about really what your strengths are, really what what are you worth? Are you worth $1,000 an hour, or are you worth $1,500 an hour? And what assets do you have that allow you to charge that if you're in business? Or if it's your career, are you worth $25 an hour or $30 an hour opposed to minimum wage? And what are those assets that allow you to confidently request that type of money? What are those strengths that allow you to request that? And if there are some threats that stand in the way of you getting that money, that price per hour, then you got to fix those threats. You got to go through whatever process is required in order to eliminate those threats. And this is all based on you having a career, what you are getting paid per hour. We are all underpaid, but we all don't ask for more either in some cases. I won't say we all, but most of us won't say, well, I don't want that job because, I feel like I should be paid $15 an hour opposed to minimum wage, which I don't even know what that is, maybe 12 or something. Because I never worked for minimum wage except when I was in high school. So you definitely want to, do an analysis and see exactly what your value, your strengths, your assets are, so that you can set the minimum amount of money that most people will set their minimum amount that they need to make based on their bills. And we have students do that in our classes. We have you look at all your expenses, and then we actually create a Excel spreadsheet, and we determine what your hourly rate needs to be so that you can afford to pay your bills on a weekly, monthly basis. But most importantly is to know what your value is as well, and what your worth is, so that you can turn down a job if it's not going to be the job. But if you're in a situation where you have to get some money is better than no money, that's definitely understood. Next, we did we did the actual SWOT analysis. We told you how to actually go and find out what the salary range is for that job that you may have or may want to get, and compare that salary to what you're getting now or what you did in the past, and then document those findings in your SWOT analysis as well, because you need to make sure that not only are you paid the standard amount, but you may be worthy of more. And in this exercises, we also had you go to ZipRecruiter and check out the job description for that particular job, so that not only could you figure out what it was that you were being paid in terms of the salary, but what requirements of that job that you had or you were missing. And so whatever was missing, after you looked at maybe 3 or 4 job descriptions for that position, you were able to determine what your threats were. So what were you missing from those job description requirements? And what was really cool about this exercise is that you looked at the job description for today's economy, for today's workforce, because what the job description may have looked like 3 years ago is totally different than what it looks like today. And so it gave you an idea of what skill sets that you need to improve on and get in order for you to be able to compete and ask for that salary that you know you deserve. So this was a great, great exercise. We also looked at it from the professional and the business perspective. Now, most would say do a SWOT analysis, SWOT, for business. But I also recommend that you do both, because personally, you have to know your value and your worth, your strengths, and your assets. And then you have to know what they are and how they apply to your business model. So you need to do both. And it's so important that you know who and what you're, what you're supposed to be making or what you should be making. And if you can't get the job or the contract with that amount that you know is what your starting point is, you may have to take a lower amount, but you got to work towards that. You got to demand it. So if you get the contract and after the 30, put in your contract that you want to be reevaluated in 30, 60, 90 days so that increase can occur. Same thing with a job. You go in that 90-day review, you make it clear when you accept the job that you would, like to be evaluated 30, 60, 90, not just at 90 days, 30, 60, 90. And that way, if there's any improvements that you need to make, so by the time you get to the 90-day threshold, they can't say, oh, you didn't meet these requirements, and you can't say you didn't know, and you're out the door. So if they do 30, 60, 90, then you know what you need to do and improve. And if they don't want to put that in a contract, in 30 days, go to your boss and say, look, I like to do a self-assessment. I'd like you to do a self-assessment for me. Tell me what it is that I'm doing great, what I'm needing to improve on, and what do I have to do in order to secure a raise in 90 days? You drive this ship. Don't let the company drive the ship for you. You can do that if you know your value and your worth. You have no problems. Confidence is a big thing, and we're going to be doing a module on confidence in our circle of success, because you have to be confident in who you are. And if you're not, you got to figure out how to get there. You have to know, if I'm great at this, it's no problem in saying I'm great at it. It's not a problem in letting a person know, a contractor or an employer, that you're great at what you do and you want to be compensated. And if they don't feel like you are, then why are you there? Why are you wasting that time? Time is very short today. You could be here today and going tomorrow, but you want to live your best life today. Every day you need to live your best life. And that includes all of it. Being paid the best rate, having the best job, being happy, having your best day, being the best that you can be, and expecting everybody else to treat you in that best behavior. So important. So, in review, we identified your value. We determined what the value amount was by creating a value statement instead of an objective for that job description or for that resume. We had you create a value statement, because a value statement tells you what the values are, not your objective for the company, but the value that you have that you're going to bring to the company. Imagine that, changing your objective on your resume to a value statement, so that that person knows when they read your resume that what values you bring to the table. And they'll respect you more, because everybody does an objective. You want to do a value statement. You also want to do a career summary to determine the amount you require for a position, so that people understand that career summary is just going to summarize all of your attributes, which are going to justify exactly what it is that you want in terms of a salary and a position. You don't want a supervisory position when you are management material. You don't want a manager's position when you are director material. But you got to command that, especially women. You got to tell who and what you want. So that leads us into our next segment of our circle of success, which was your brand. Defining your professional brand. Knowing your worth and value will determine the success of your professional brand. So your worth plus your value equals your professional brand. And that's just a basic mathematical function. And you got to know it. We also gave you a professional brand worksheet and a business brand worksheet as well, so that you could actually answer several questions and build that brand statement that we requested that you write. Because a brand statement presentation is useful when you want to tell someone about your background and your experience, whether it be in a career setting or a business setting. If you're trying to get that business contract or you're trying to get that job. Next, we talked about self-assessment. This is typically, something I've been saying, that people use a self-assessment to determine our assets. In this process of the circle of success, we identify what is missing to achieve that level of success. So your assets minus your missing assets create your self-assessment. So when you look at your assets, you then identify what's missing. Then you create your self-assessment so that you can figure out what it is that you have to do to get it. And we also gave you the checklist so you could use as a guideline in terms of your education, your experience, and your credentials to just determine what was missing, what is missing. And again, you go back to those 3 or 4 job descriptions that you got from the ZipRecruiter's website so that you could see exactly what you were missing. Again, I said before, the job description that you had 5 years ago is not the same job description today. There are, virtual alone has been added. Those skill sets are now in demand and minimum requirements for any job because so many jobs you're working from home. And then there's the whole app world where you have to, know how to use these applications so that you can not only get access to the materials that you need in order to do your job, but you also have to be able to, just, compete, discuss, talk, do everything that's required based on what everybody else is doing in the business. So you cannot, pretend like you can use those old skill sets to do today's jobs. You just can't. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. And whoever believes that this whole virtual thing is going to be gone when the COVID goes, you are fooling yourself. Companies have realized how great this virtual world is. They're saving money. They're getting a better performance. People are working harder now because they want to stay at home working. They like this new format. It saves them money. It saves you money. You don't spend money on gas. Your car insurance that's a good tip too. You're not using your car for work. So you should have changed your policy to go from maybe 30, 40 miles a day to now 5 miles a day. When you do that with your insurance policy, you save money. You also not spending money on tolls, your lunch. You're cooking your meals at home. You're making a quick sandwich. You're sitting at your desk like you always did, but you didn't go out and spend $15 for that lunch. You went in the kitchen and made, leftovers, or you just made a quick egg sandwich, whatever you were doing, you still save money. So they understand that. So they're going to be paying us less because they know that we're saving money. And then they are going to be saving money because they don't have to spend money on electric for, keeping these retail places up and open, especially if you're a professional business where people can just work better at home. People are doing Zoom meetings in place of in-person meetings where, is a whole lot of preparation work and getting the room set up. Now you just send out the agenda and maybe a couple of attached files. It's just done. Everything's just done so easy. So don't mislead yourself thinking that your old job is going to come back and you're going to be doing the same thing you did in your old job. Those days are done. Done. We also gave out an assessment workbook, which was 3 sheets. It allowed you to do your self-assessment, the procedures that you were going to use to improve the areas that you were missing, and then also put the implementation plan together so that now that you have addressed it, identified it, and you know the how, the what, and the when. I mean, the how, the what. Now you're going to do the when. When are you going to get it done? What are your timelines? What are your anticipated dates of completion? All of that. Such an important task to implement your self-assessment plan, because you can't go forward and get what you want if you keep doing the same thing you did before. Now, if you're already there, it's working. If you're not, you got to do something different. And to bring you up to date to our last module, we talked about mindset. There's 2 types of mindsets, in my opinion, positive or negative. And we had a great worksheet that would, I don't think I put it in there, but we had a great worksheet that we sent out where you had to complete an assessment on your mindset in terms of challenges, obstacles, effort, criticism, success of others. And it's very important to determine how, to take a look at how you responded using the tool that we gave you in order to assess your mindset. Most people think, well, my negative thoughts don't get too far because my positive thoughts outweigh my negative. But you don't understand that negative thoughts can enter into your positive and cause your positive to not be at a level of 100. It could drop it down as low as 50, maybe even 10 points. You're still getting some portion of it done, but you're not doing it at the best of your ability. So you're not getting the entire level of success that you would on your positive side of tasks because that negativity is entering in to your whole being, your psyche, your physical, your mental, all of that. So address what your negative thoughts are and why you have them, and figure out how you can correct them, so that you're getting up every morning thinking about positivity, opposed to, well, this didn't happen or that didn't happen. I didn't get a good night's sleep, or I didn't get what I was supposed to get done yesterday. How is that going to affect today? You get up in the morning and you look at two things. I'm going to walk in faith and positivity. If you do that every morning, I do that every morning. I'm going to work in faith and not fear, and I'm going to be positive for the entire day. And whatever I get done is going to be great. If I have to put it on the next day's agenda, that's going to be great too. So your mindset is what is going to allow you to be the best person that you can be. And I can't tell you how important this entire module, for these entire modules so far in our circle of success, have actually worked for some people that are following it, and the responses that I'm getting from everyone is just so positive, and everyone's like, thank you, Trina, you just got me thinking about things that are important that I kind of put aside, and now I'm starting to focus on them and improve what I need to improve to make myself a better person. So to recap, we talked about worth, value, brand, self-assessment, and mindset. And you'll have to tune in next week to see what our next module is, because I wanted to make sure these were pretty big areas that I wanted to focus on, and I didn't want to keep going without kind of reviewing it and visiting the concept behind it and tying it all together. And as I did this review session broadcast, you can see how it's all tied together. So you got to look forward to next week and seeing what our halfway point will be, because we're halfway. And we might increase it. We might add another little module in there. You never know. It depends on how we're going. But right now, we've done so far 5 modules, and then we did review. So we're going to keep going. And we hope that by the end of this year, we've got our circle of success complete, so that when we start 2021, we've got a whole new outlook, not just on our life and maybe this COVID going away, but also how we're going to conduct our 2021 year in so many different improved ways. And that's my mindset. This is my challenge for the WWW, Women Webinars for Women, Wednesdays Women Webinars. And I thought I say it different every time, but it's still my WWW. So in closing, I want to say knowledge is useless without good execution. So everything that I'm teaching you, whether it be on Tuesdays with my Tech Tuesdays with Trina, or it's my WWW, or on Thursdays where Rick and I just talk about what's in the news and give positive feedback on different things, answering questions, all that. It's just all good. It's just all good, positive information. We love doing it. It's brought to you by hashtag Ask Trina and the T-Bird Live with Rick Z. So it's all good. It's all free. Just take a minute, go to our website. Go to our YouTube channel, the T-Bird Center, and you'll see all the previous broadcasts in case you missed any of them, or you can go right to my Facebook page, Trina Bird, and they're all listed as you scroll down, and just watch them if you want to do catch up. But I can't tell you how important it is to just, be educated on who you are and what you are, so that you can make great decisions. And I'm excited and thankful that I'm able to bring this to you, and I really look forward to you guys being able to not only share this with me, but expand your knowledge. Thank you, and I will see you next week.